Hello everyone, this is Elio Piedra here from the studios of Fiesta Radio, the first and only Latin radio station here in Gainesville, Florida. This is Fiesta Radio podcast. We are super excited and we are thrilled to have a great friend, someone that is gonna change the way you see things in life and actually the way you see life itself. So if you are ready to get motivated and fired up about this journey, so you better, adjust your seatbelt because this airplane is about to take off. Once again, Elio Piedra, we want to thank you for being here with us. If you are watching this, you are probably enjoying our platforms. You, remember, can enjoy our podcast downloading Fiesta Radio app. And also you can find us on iTunes, on Apple Podcasts, Apple Music, and all over the place. And also Spotify. So make sure you click that notification button and be part of our world. Today it is special once again, and I want you to be motivated, and we want you to, with an open mind, listen to stories that are gonna make you say, wow, how can they actually overcome all of these obstacles and challenges in life? Well, today we have a wonderful story. Chris McCarty is a great friend of mine. In my personal life, he's a great one of the greatest entertainers that I personally know. But he considers himself a motivator, and he's passionate about life. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the one and only Chris McCarty.
Oh my God!
Hey, let me tell you, we actually brought everybody here. Let me tell you. That I'm talking about, yes.
My man, thank you for having me, brother.
No, thank you actually for making the time to come all the way, from beautiful Tampa to make it happen. How you doing today?
Well, brother, the fact woke up, you stop and you think, I got my digits. I can still hug my kids. Life is amazing because, 60,000 people die every day, they say, right? So that means someone's gone and I'm still here. So I'm, just ready to keep on going and see what else is there,
We're glad we didn't make that list, right?
Yeah, right. I'm telling you, man. Yeah. Shout out to all the families who lost somebody today.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
So, Chris, we want to share your story. We want to share everything about you, but when we were before, we started the podcast, you mentioned that you consider yourself a motivator. And, when I think about you, I think an entertainer, you're passionate, you love making people dance and have a great time, but you consider yourself a motivator.
Yes.
What's the meaning without that, that aspect of being a motivator?
Okay. What is motivation? Motivation makes you get up, makes you leave, makes you do anything, right? And so in life, we have life, it's 1 second, it's one time, right? And it's over. And if you understand the blessing and the opportunity that you have here to create memories and affect life for the positive or the negative, that's motivating, right? Like just waking up in bed and saying, I get to live this life, that's motivating. And so when you're able to do that and live that and believe that and then share that, and you're seeing other people moving based on maybe things that just your involvement with them for a second, how can that, you see that like, wait a minute, I have a chance to manipulate this world for good. What's more motivating for that? Like, I have a chance to make things better and put people where they need to go, and they can, create whatever dreams they want. That's what that motivation is. So it's like, I've gone to children and helped them and seen them get that light in their eye, and that's what makes me move. So I know helping is really a motivating factor.
And why do you think people get unmotivated? Or for some people, it's so hard to be motivated and even to have a positive attitude, just to see things from a positive point of view. And why do you think is that?
I think it's because identity is the thief of joy. I think that for me, I had, we'll get into it a little later, but I had an experience where I passed away for a hot second, right? And had what is called a near-death experience. And so after coming back from that for 3 days, I was happier than I'd ever been, right? So I went on live and explained to everyone the story. Hey, I was happy. I had 3 days, saw clouds. And then I see another man on YouTube say the exact same thing, right? So two people that don't know each other have a similar experience that was outside of the realm here. So when I started thinking, okay, at one point I just was here, right? Like, where we come from, we're just here, right? And so I know I came from somewhere. Well, where was I before here? You know, in your mom's belly. Okay, where were you before that? So then you start thinking, all right, I came from somewhere. So I'm not from here. That means none of us are from here. So when you start trying to identify with things here, I think that's what's going to drive people into sadness and thinking, oh man, because me, I see myself as a spirit that came to life, like a light and energy that's just here, right? So when I started realizing that I was a spirit, then I started seeing everyone else as spirits, and everyone has these dreams, everyone has these fears, everyone has these insecurities. That's when you're stopped and you go, wow, now I'm not bound here. And so I see the difference of, you know, maybe that's why I'm so excited, because I know it's short and I'm going somewhere else. So that might be part of the reason why people are so upset, because if I identify with this, that means I'm exclusive of that. And if I'm not that, well, then am I really whole? Like a yin and a yang. There's a left and a right and up and a down. Well, if you're just up, then are you a whole individual? So there creates the sadness that I think people will really go through and not understanding, you know, and so we start latching on to, social media, or now I'm going to watch someone else's life because their life seems more interesting. And that's why I think people are sad. They're not living their lives. They're not going after these dreams that came to them. Everyone's got a different dream. Look at this place you created. It's amazing. I was with you before that. The thing I saw with you, you were always filming you and putting it out there. And I was like, that's great. And look what you created. And you have a zest for life. You're always up here at 4 o'clock in the morning because you're ready for this life. And so I feel that motivating factor. This is why I said to you, I came in here, I'm like, you're an inspiration, my friend. And so that's what I think. Like, you identify as, I'm Elio, I'm here doing this. But you see me as brother.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's it, man. I think that is where it starts, like the lie. It's the lies that we've believed.
That's so powerful.
Yeah.
That is awesome, brother. And you know, I wanna dive deeper into who is that human being behind Chris McCarty and where you come from and all of that before we jump into this huge challenge that you just had in front of you. So that's why I'm telling you, stay right there, because in about a minute you're gonna hear the most incredible story probably in 2023. I'm telling you. So Chris, share about your background, where you come from, your roots, how that happened that you became an entertainer like that. You play guitar in such a particular way. So talk to me about that.
All right. Where did I come from? As you see, you got the Jamaican roots. So I have West Indian roots, European roots. My mother was from England, right? She was born in Jamaica, but then moved to England when she was 1. So I have a European culture in my house.
Wow.
So that alone differentiated me from all the other kids I grew up with. So right then, I'm in a different minority. I'm in the under 1%, right? And so when you're able to do something that no one else does, it's going to set you on a different path, right? So it's like, then music has always been something that's just been a driving force, like with everybody. It's the great connector, right? So when I was 9, I tried to win a drum set, right? There was like the expo, and I put my little my name in there because I'm thinking it's a drum set. They called me, and I was like, I won the drums. No, you won a guitar. A guitar, right? 6 years I didn't touch it, and then I started get the itch. Let me see if I can figure this out. So I taught myself how to play. And that's when you realize, well, you have a gift because you just taught yourself how to do that, right? And so when you're having these experiences where you're seeing something that others around you aren't seeing, right? Having a European mom, going to a private school and being the only one that like me in private school, like just having these aspects sets you into a spot of like, well, it's just me, right? And so after, that's basically who I am, just different, right? And when you embrace your changes, you embrace what's different about you, it'll set you on a path. And I've always wanted to know the truth. And I know music is truth because people feel it. You can't see it, but you feel it. It's there. You can write a song and someone can cry. They're feeling it. It's real. So I embark in that space of what's real. I just want to know what's real. And so I keep my mouth shut, listen, watch, and I deconstruct everything I think I know about myself to become more. And I think that's the goal. So how did I become this? I've always been this, but I've wanted to expand and become more. And so these experiences I went through in life, like we all go through experience, they mold you into becoming something greater. And so if you want to see yourself as a diamond, like I'm a diamond, what is a diamond? How do you make a diamond? With pressure. So you get more and more pressure to be that. So if you want the easy life, you're not going to be a diamond, but someone needs you to be that for someone else. So if I can go through this and go through so much pain and anguish and so on and so forth and come out on top hard after the diamond is cut, it can't go through any more changes. That's what it is. And so ultimately, if you want to be that and you go that direction, you're going to take some hits, but you know you're going to be okay. You get through every single situation. You get through it. You get past it. And so instead of running from it, now I'm running toward it. Right? So now being the person who's running towards that, it's created who I am.
That is awesome, brother. Yeah. So you moved from Jamaica to England and then you came to the United States.
No, my mom did.
Your mom did?
I was born in Minnesota. Another weird fact. Me, Prince, hanging out in Minnesota. Like, what? Yeah. So she was the one that did that. But I've gone back to Jamaica and see my family, understand that culture. I want to know who you are. I go to my culture. England, go to my culture. You know, my dad was born in Mississippi. So that's Southern American culture back. He was born in 1948. So I have that culture in me as well. So I see a little differently from what else I can identify in ways, but I realize that identity is a lie.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So now I want to learn about when was the first time ever that you picked the guitar? What age?
15.
15?
I was 15.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, I was 15. And that's great. It was before all the distractions and the internet. So it was like, I'm by myself. Like, I could take the hours to figure out how to do it.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean? And so, that was 15, and I never stopped. My first show was 17. So the first time I was in front of anybody, it was 17 years old, like still a kid, you know, and then you graduate high school and you're going to go to college. And then here's the crazy, we talk about stories. Let's talk about how it all really began. My father played basketball. He was amazing at basketball. I love basketball, favorite sport. So I'm like, I want to play in college, you know, right? So I graduate and I moved to Virginia. Now the Dave Matthews Band is big in Virginia. My brother goes to the University of Virginia. So I moved there, lived with my brother. And I'm like, I got to get a job. First job. All right, laundromat. I'm walking a mile in the morning, doing the laundromat thing. I get done with that. I go to the court. I shoot. I practice, right? So that's my whole summer. I'm literally going to sign with a school. So we drive back, get home at 12:15 in the morning. We're leaving at 5 in the morning. So in 5 hours, we're going to leave and go sign. 15 minutes after we got home, the phone rings. I pick it up. It's a voice. This guy's freaking out. His name is Brett. He had been calling me all summer long to try to get me in his band. And he said, something told me as I've gotten older, I realized they say God has another name. It's something told me to call. And you answered, I want you to be in a band. I'm like, dude, I'm going to go sign and play basketball. Just think it over. Now I'm driving the next day. The whole time this thought is in my head, like, what are the chances of that? So on the way, I decided to not do basketball and to do music like that on a whim. So like, think about it. These things that naturally happen to you. I wasn't looking for that. It found me. Right. And so then what happens? Now we get in a band and now we're in college band. Like, what was it? Conan O'Brien's National College Band Search. I'm 18 years old. We got second place in the nation on that.
Wow.
So you didn't get first place for a reason because you got to keep going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's how this whole thing happened. And that band breaks up. And then there was a restaurant called Hops on Archer Road. You guys remember Hops if you're in Gainesville? Hops. I would play there once a week. And then for 2 years it grew and grew. And then I met my bass player, Greg. And then we started getting the band. And then the Chris McCarty band was formed. This is pre-YouTube, any of that.
Everything.
So we're going, and I'm going 110% every time I'm on stage. Because I love it. I love playing, right? And so then it started growing and growing and growing and growing. We were consistent and growing. And all the way to the point where the band breaks up. 3 days later, the White House calls my phone. The White House called my phone, asking us to play, but we had just broken up. So then you understand that deconstruction as well. You're like, wow, that's crazy. You got to the very top, but then there's
the foundation just fell down.
Right. And so again, you're deconstructing. Who am I? What is this through that? And so there's a journey. It's taking you somewhere.
So what happened? And what happened with that call? Did you finally play at the White House?
No, because for years you're working with this group, right? These guys that are like your family, right? And then you break up, you're heartbroken. Heartbroken. It was the hardest thing. Like my band, like my dream. These guys, I did all this stuff for, and for me to go and grab other people and go to the White House, like, is that really going to be tight? Is it going to be? Am I going to be able to perform, or am I going to be chasing fame at that point? I didn't do this to chase fame. I did it to express and be. But at the end, I have integrity. So it's like, I'm not just going to grab random dudes and say, come on. So, no, I declined.
No, and
which
honestly,
is powerful, too. Like, no.
Yeah, and honestly, that's so brave to decline. And so awesome, because the way I see it is like, that's your marriage. That's your relationship. Imagine someone asking you next day after you're broken up to go to a dance with someone else. It's the same thing. That's how I see it.
Right. And so imagine me getting the notoriety and everything else. I wouldn't be who I am now in that space. And if I had gone in that space back then, who knows where I would be? I wouldn't be the person, have more of an impact. I wouldn't. It would be more, and I'd be in this world just trying to chase like everybody else. And I'm again under 1%. I don't want to be like anybody else, so I'm not going to sell out just for this thing. Yeah, I worked toward it, but obviously for the band to break up, there was something that I lacked. There was something that I didn't do. There was something that I didn't know. So you have to, if you want to make it right, I got to make this right before I go do that. And so all the events that have happened, which more stories, now I understand it's time for me to go out and say, hey, this is what's going on in life and what I know.
That is awesome. Mm-hmm. So Chris McCarty, just so you guys know, you guys that are probably watching or listening to this podcast, he dances, he sings, he plays the guitar, like, I'm telling you, a unique way, very particular. You know what I love about Chris is like, when we play together, we just played actually last night, but when we play together, it's such a connection because you have that Caribbean syncopation that is so hard for most musicians to get it, to understand it. And you have this unique mix because all your roots to get it. So from all of the things that you do as an entertainer, what is the one that you love the most and why?
As an entertainer,
singing, dancing, playing the guitar.
I'd have to say there's not one more that I like than the others. It's expression, right? I don't like one kid more than like the other. It's me. I'm a whole person. I love all aspects of me. So I enjoy the fact that I dance. I just enjoy every single moment of what the gifts that were given to me, right? I don't want to make this one more like, nah, I think all of it.
The experience itself.
Right. It's like I like all of walks of life. I don't just like this more than that. I think that makes us all more whole to not necessarily want to make this more than the other. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It works for me anyways.
No, and every show that I got to tell you, you are the person and probably the entertainer that I learned the most, especially because of the time awesome, that I spent together. And I always say, no, because you are here, every single person that is like throwing me flowers and say, hey, because you say, like, let me tell you, I learned from you.
Thank you, brother.
I learned this concept of people will not remember what you play, but how you made them feel. And you are a master at making people feel good just by, I don't know, connecting. You have a gift to connect with people. There is a lot of people that you can try, but there is things that you can't fake in life. You know, there's just a gift that you've been given.
Yes.
Yeah. And you have that within you. And I just wanted to tell you that. And I personally been learning a lot about that. And these podcasts is going to be watched by musicians, people that love music, people that they love all genres, from Latin people of all different backgrounds. And that's crucial. The experience. And you just said it's about the whole experience.
Whole experience, man. Yeah. And again, the more I'm understand who I am, the more aware I am of who I am and accepting of who I am, it makes it easier for me to identify and, resonate and with anyone, right? So again, I think that's the superpower. It's the more you know yourself and love yourself and forgive yourself and just understand you're a human and things are difficult and we all are trying to learn. Again, understanding that I am a spirit and I can make someone smile and I know that it makes me feel good. I'm almost selfish because I'm trying to make myself feel good. But I know if I make you feel good, it makes you feel good, right?
Yeah.
So imagine that. It's like I'm a selfish dude, but selfish in the sense of I know that you're benefiting from my selfishness because it's just going to make me feel good, right? And I understand, like, it's 1 degree can change anything. Like, if I have an interaction with someone who's really having a crappy day and then I'm really cool with them, you don't know what that could do. You could walk someone off the ledge. I've had people tell me that. So once you know that that's a fact, am I going to live a lie or am I going to live a truth?
Exactly.
Right. So I'm going to die. Everyone here we see is going to die. So in my story, when I look back on my memories, I believe in God because I went where I went. So I don't care what anyone says. I know what I saw, right? So when I go back there, if it's a situation where we get to look back on my life, I would love them to be patting me on the back rather than being like, what are you doing? You wasted this opportunity. We gave you all of this and you made it just a life for yourself. No, I want to make everyone else better. And by me really living like that, I get so many blessings just by really looking out for other people. So I realize life isn't about you. It's about everyone around you. Crazy.
Exactly. And you know what? I also learned, through life that when people come to see you perform or just come to see you, they didn't come because of you, but because of what you have to offer to them. So let's say someone came last night to Hard Rock Cafe or to any of the wonderful venues that you play or perform around the States, and Chris McCarty wasn't 100% or was having a bad day and whatever reason, you wasn't being yourself. That person just wasted tickets or the time, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I learned that from you actually, because I have seen you give 150% all the time, even though we all have hard times, hard days, as we all know. But talking about that, I want to share one of the reasons when we were discussing about having this episode, I was so excited is because I cannot wait to share what you just went through.
Yeah.
One of the biggest challenges that a personal friend, I heard that ever had. So I want you guys to listen to this story, how it happened, and the purpose and the meaning that you actually found after the fact, and then you came back to your career and all of that. So, Chris, let's talk about that. Let's talk about what happened over a year ago, right?
Let's get it. 2020.
In 2020, it's been 3 years. Wow.
Right.
Time flies.
Yeah, time flies by. So I would say the story is, for those of you who have no idea, COVID happened. We were all at home, and I got a phone call from the Chamber of Commerce in Clearwater. They wanted me to write a song for the city of Clearwater. So I don't know about you, but during COVID, I gained some weight. Woo! So it's like, well, it's time to get that COVID weight off. So I'm working out, I'm trying to get ready because I know there's going to be a video, right? So the video's going to be on this date. So I got to make sure that this is going to be me. It's going to be out there forever. So I'm going to put myself in shape, in the best shape possible, so on and so forth. So working out, eating correctly, not eating steak, just eating just plants and all that stuff, right? And getting myself done. So we did the video shoot. And then 9 days later, I'm like, man, it's time to eat some steak, right? So it was nighttime, and we with the grill. And so I'm getting in the shower, and it was like, hey, to my partner at the time, don't use lighter fluid, right? Lighter fluid. So she hears use lighter fluid. So she goes and puts lighter fluid out there.
So she heard the opposite.
Right. Now, have you ever been in a situation where, like, perfect example, like you just don't remember that. I just heard something different. You ever had that happen?
Yeah.
Right. And then you're like, no accidents. Like, maybe that was supposed to happen. So keep going. So she hears that, and then we switch. And now I'm doing lighter fluid. It's nighttime. I do it, and I'm an extremist. Like, bro, if I had one tattoo, I'm going to have like 50 tattoos because that's just me. So I have no tattoos because I know who I am, right? So I go to town. I'm like, I'm about to blow this to wham, bam. Blew my face up, arm up. 3rd degree, 2nd degree burns from here all the way to my shoulder. Face was, burnt as well. And for 18 months, I couldn't go outside. I couldn't play. I couldn't even really play the guitar. They told me I wasn't going to be able to play. Of course, I was like, bump that. I know I'm going to, right? And so why did that happen? Well, it takes years for things to develop, right? Have you ever heard of the Chinese bamboo tree?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So 5 years of planting it the same way, watering, and then 6 weeks later, 90 feet, it grows in 6 weeks. right? So same kind of concept. So for me to be in a space where I'm out. Like I was doing this podcast at the time, CMC Squared, during COVID. You know, every day I was out there for 15 minutes just talking. And I was out into the space. And now I'm off the space. Now I'm not on social media. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not. And it got to the point where it was like, okay, this is actually great. Let me get out of the light for a second and see what life's like. Deconstructing your reality. So now, what am I seeing? I'm able to watch everyone and their reactions, watching how, you know, the truths of just being a bystander. Now I'm just observing. I'm not putting myself in it. I'm just watching, and I see what's really going on. I see the lies. I see everything. I'm like, oh my goodness. So here I am finding myself complaining to, like, you know, friends about what I'm seeing, but I know I have a different perspective. So when I'm talking to these different individuals and saying, you know, my concepts and ideologies and things I believe in, they're all resonating with it. And then majority of them are like, why are you not out there saying it? That to me is God telling me, bro, I brought you down here for a reason, gave you these gifts for people. So I made you for people. So I've made you for people, and now you're away from the people. But what are you doing away from people? I'm learning things. I'm gathering my own experiences, and then I'm going to come back and report. So now at this point, it's like, okay, it's time to have your own podcast. It's time to go out there and speak. Because for years, I never talked about, you know, social economic situations. I would stay away because there's so many people they're putting their opinions out. I don't need to add to that. So I just sit back. Black Lives Matter, what do you think? I'm not talking about that. I'm just not. Well, now it's time for me too, only because my experiences and how so few have seen it. And for me to have the perspective and the truth and things that I've seen, maybe this will help make people awaken from who they truly are, from what they've been seeing. And it's clearly we've been lied to. Clearly there's lies everywhere. I can tell you the identity lie. The lie that, oh, black people are oppressed by white people. That's a lie, bro. I'm so sick of hearing that. So many, the lie that we're victims. Everyone's a victim. No one's a victim, bro. No one's a victim. You're here. You have life. You have decisions. You have choices. You can make things. Look what you did. And if you believe in something bigger, if you believe in something better than yourself, and you know you're not an accident, well then, who can hold you down?
Exactly.
Are you really spiritual, or are you just talking that you're spiritual? You talk about you believe in God. Well, if you really believe in God so much, what are you tripping about with other people?
Exactly.
Let's talk about it. So that is another aspect that I can bring, because I'm being a person who really got all the way to the heights of the White House. That's a president. They're white, inviting me there. So what are you guys talking about? It's a lie. And so many people, I hear them full of pain because, again, if I can get you to identify as this, we're oppressed because that. And there you go. Got you. Yeah. And now you're not living your life.
Yeah, because I feel, I see, I think, and I know, because it's how you see things around, that people are making excuses all the time. Like, you know, and it is always somebody else's problem or somebody else's fault, right? But, you know, I wanna expand in your story and what happened and the impact that had on you, right? Mm-hmm. You just mentioned that you went to death and then you came back.
Yeah.
And what type of impact that actually had in you? Because I remember that you mentioned briefly in a personal conversation we had that you thought about just quitting music. You just thought that, and then something happened, you came back. I want to learn what happened that Chris McCarty came back stronger.
Right. So in the surgery is when I pulled the tube out of my throat. So I'm unconscious and did that. Why? Okay. Which allowed me to go where I went, come back. And there's just something about working so hard. And we just made the video for the city, and this is going to go big. We're about to blow up, and we did blow up. But we're about to, you know what I mean? And then when it stops, it's very difficult to start again.
Yeah.
So if anyone knows that, if you gain weight, it's difficult. So at that point when I came, I was just tired. And that was just honest. So then it was, you know, it's health insurance. All right, we'll see what's up with that. So I started doing health insurance, and I worked because I'm a workhorse. Selling health insurance.
The great Chris McCarty.
I know, right? But here's the thing: is like I knew that the insurance that I was able to sell could actually help people, And I
Yeah.
knew that people knew and trusted that, like, I'm not some dude trying to take from you, so most likely you'll be able to you'll be safe. But it's in that, and in that world. So now I'm in a cubicle, I'm in an office with people all the time. I'm used to seeing people, bye, right? Like real quick interactions. Now I'm seeing it. And now you're seeing these, not trying to be higher than anyone. Yet again, there's vibrations, right? So some people are lower vibrations, and you hear what they say, and you're just kind of like, ugh, right? So then what happened was I just wanted to play. I hadn't played in so long, right? Let me just play. When I played, that feeling again. And then it was the reminder. So some it's the is, not is. Like I do it, then I don't do it to understand this is who I am. So sometimes we step out in different realms to really know and be aware and remember. So when I did that, that's when it was like, okay, now dude, I need to be playing. And so I play, but I don't even advertise. I just want to play. I love playing. It's kind of wrong in its own way because people may want to see me and whatever, but now we're getting to the point of, okay, let's get it back out there. But that's what happened. It was not doing what, in seeing the ramifications of not doing what you were intended to do. You're becoming a different individual. And I didn't like that. So I had to go back to, I cut my hair and got back to the roots of how I started. I used to have my hair like this, short, and like, let's get back to who I truly am, man.
I gotta tell you, when you mentioned the health insurance, I mean, which is great. I mean, we actually promote so many health insurance agents here, and it's just wonderful. But I know your gift. You know, I like, yeah, you can do anything that you want. But let me tell you something. You are an entertainer. You are a motivator through music, through art. You know, you are a walking billboard of happiness and energy, music, all of it included. And something in me was a little sad about not seeing Chris doing what he's been with the gift that he's been given to share. Yeah. And you know, we're responsible to share our gifts. Selfish. So, but it's so beautiful to, you know, seeing you coming back and stronger and being out there on big venues and being passionate again, passionate, fired up about what you do. So right now, someone is going to be watching this. Someone is probably watching. Someone is thinking, you know, I am Chris right now. There is a lot of Chris right now. There is a lot of people that they burn their arm, their face, their emotional health. Some different aspects of their life are maybe burning right now.
Right.
So what would you say to that people right now looking at that camera? What will you share with them? What type of motivation can we share with that human being that is watching right now? And it can be the next Chris McCarty.
There will never be another Chris McCarty. There will never be another you. There'll never be another you. So whoever's watching and dealing with this, you have your own print. You have your own dreams, right? Something made you, right? So there's like the solar system, there's the sun, then you come closer, there's the earth, you come closer, then there's, you know, countries, you get closer, you zoom in, and then there's you. So you're in the middle of all of this, right? So what I would say, if you're dealing with a setback, understand when the ball bounces at the bottom, it goes back up. If you pull an arrow back, it shoots really far. There's always a this and a that. There's always something that's moving. So if you're in that space now, this is why I'm here. I care. I don't even know who you are, but I know we're empathizing. You feel me because I am you. You are me. You have a setback. It's just a setback to have you go somewhere forward. Just be honest with yourself. Try not to follow anyone. Follow that voice inside of you. It's talking to you. Whether you're having issues with substances, man, we're all addictive creatures. But don't beat yourself up, because it's in beating yourself up that you keep going back to whatever substance or whatever issue that you use that's hurting you, right? So just understand that you can do it or you would be dead already. So you have your own story. You have all these opportunities and options and arrows where you choose your own adventure, where you could go. But I say, to me, point where you want to go and close out the distractions, because they're here to prevent you from actually living your life. So if you watch Twitter too much, or you go here too much, you're going to start interacting there, right? So you are what you see, you are what you hear. Hear my words and feel the vibration. And if it's resonating with you, then it's your truth. So find your new truth and follow that. strongly, and you're not like anybody else, and it's okay. Don't try to be like anyone else. Step out, be extraordinary. Just be who you ordinarily you, and be that, and be that, and be that, and be that. And you're gonna attract those things you want. And so whatever made you come here today, something had you come. There's no accident. Stop thinking that you don't matter. Stop thinking that you're smaller or more insignificant than you are. You are a God. You create just like the rest of us.
Wow.
You do.
If you don't feel motivated with that, let me tell you something.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Like, if you look at everything around you, it's someone's idea.
Yeah.
It's someone's idea. So what makes you any less different? No, we all bleed, we all cry, we all come from the same elements: nitrogen, hydrogen, carbon, and oxygen. That's what's on the earth. And guess what? That's what we're made of. So if I'm made of the same stuff on the earth, that means that the earth lives and all these things happen, then you're part of this. So the only thing that's limiting is you. The only thing that can slow you down is inside your head. Nothing external can truly slow you down. If you pick up the external, if you are swiping and losing time, that's when you're losing. That's what they want. They want you to just be individual. Selfie. Selfies. You know what selfie is? Has anyone seen? Let me just. I do this all the time. This is great. You see that? What's that? It's the bitten apple. Story in the Bible says that Adam and Eve bit an apple. So when I'm seeing people giving selfies, what are they doing, Elio? Subconsciously, subliminally, they're telling themselves they don't like themselves because they're taking 4 or 5 pictures, but they're accepting one. So 4 times, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like. Don't accept. Don't accept. Don't accept. Now, I'm more insecure, and I put that out there. But now I'm putting it out there. Why? So someone can validate me. But if you stopped, maybe that was part of it because it makes you into narcosis. Me, I'm by myself. So identity. You're this. You're not that. You're this. You're in a small little bubble. It's just you. Put yourself. And that is the thief of joy. Like, you're not. Don't separate yourself, man.
Wow.
Yeah, we're all in this thing together, man. We really are.
That's so powerful, brother. That's so powerful. You mentioned that you are about to create a podcast.
Yeah.
What is that? Do you have the name and where we're going to be able to find that podcast?
I'm teasing between the Under 1% podcast.
Love it.
Right, I'm with that, and I have my other one was C equals MC squared, but I already did that, so it's kind of like, but the Under 1% because I realized like I am that, and if I have a platform that people are wanting to hear, that maybe people are trying to hear a different truth because maybe people want that truth. Awesome. So that is what I want. So if you want to get away from all this and see where you're at, has it been working for you? Well, maybe you need to get a different perspective, and I'm the only one that's seen and gone through what I've gone through to be able to tell you my truth and what I've seen.
That is awesome, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris came all the way from Tampa. Let me tell you, he drove 2 hours to be here with us and share that super powerful and huge message with all of you guys. That I feel motivated. I feel like I'm ready to eat the world, man. Let's go, man. Let's go.
Right?
Chris, thank you so much, brother.
Thank you, brother.
You make a difference, and I heard a captain came the other day. We had a conversation. He said, be the change that you want to see in the world, and I think you're the change, brother.
Thank you, brother.
I see the change in front of me. I really appreciate you, and I love you, and you are awesome.
I love you.
And I really hope that you guys subscribe to Chris' podcast. We're going to be promoting it in here as well. So make sure that you do that. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is a great Chris McCarty. Chris, to find you, your website, your Facebook, your Instagram, share it with us because we can get enough with this.
All right. So like I said, admittedly, I stepped away from all of that, but it's time to come back. But when I do come back, you can find me at Facebook.com/Chris McCarty Music. I'm also on Instagram, Chris McCarty Music as well as there. And then I will be releasing more songs that I've recorded that I haven't shared because I've been selfish and keeping it for myself, and that's just wrong. So that's what's going to happen. So that's where you guys can find me. But I'm coming back. I have to. There's a part of me that didn't want to because it's like, I've been enjoying this, and it's going to be ridicule, it's going to be all that stuff, but I know that be the change. I have to. I feel compelled for my kids. And
awesome, brother. Yeah. Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode, the Tu Fiesta Radio podcast here with Elio Piedra and the great Chris McCarty, the entertainer and motivator. Peace.